Hello and welcome to session 33 of Primordial Harmony, a retelling of the classic elemental evil story in the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse. I am your host and DM, Mike, and tonight I'm joined by...
I'm Nyx. I'm playing Ilaria. She's a Wood Elf Ranger with her pet panther.
And I am Kitties, and I am playing a rockin' gnome bard by the name of...
Both of you... hold on. Both of you cut off. Say your thing again, Kitties.
I'm Kitties, and I'm playing Hum, the gnome bard.
Cool.
Let's see if I come through. My name is Miles. I play Tadias Odinoff, and I'm a seeker who's an awesome.
My name is Zafin, and I will be playing Zachary Vitalis. I will also be playing Delia, the wizard, as she is not here.
Alright. When we last left the Excavators, after brushing themselves off from that encounter with more crushing wave cultists, the party made their way back to the Crossed Swords and took some time to clean the bloody mess of the cultists there, barreled them up and buried them in the dirt outside of town. Once that was done, they made their way to the Groaning Stone, an inn mentioned by one of the water cultists to be taken by a different group of fanatics. Entering the Groaning Stone, our heroes found that indeed there were some individuals that seemed to be devoted to some sort of lofty ideal. Talk was short, however, as Zachariel began to tell threatening tales. The cultists acted swiftly, and another brawl broke out. Spells and weapons were slung, and as the cultists became sure of losing, the priest cried out the name, Ashwick! After delivering final blows, but before the party could truly take a moment to collect themselves, the called-upon Ashwick appeared, a person or being that seemingly to be born of smoke. He was a man of few words and immediately attacked the party. Despite his choking smoke spells, the party beat him down enough to cause him to flee as a cloud into the sky. From what Zachariel could tell, it headed west. With all of the cultists dead or expelled, Keith, the owner of the Groaning Stone, peeked out from its kitchen, and while somewhat thankful, seemed nonplussed about the bloody mess on the floor, which the group didn't take too kindly to, but they cleaned the floor nonetheless. Keith also went up to the second floor of the tavern, seemingly to collect possessions taken from him by Ashwick. Hum followed and discovered something that Ashwick had left behind, a pair of crystal chimes tied with a silver cord, its magic apparent. Dadias was more than happy to identify it, and they found that it was an item of elemental power, much like the Sunni's spade. Chan's chimes, an instrument that could influence air. They retired to the Crossed Swords and rested after a day of hard work. In the morning, Katie Colger had everyone up bright and early to head out. As her colleagues were getting the cart ready, a small discussion was had about Keith. A few choice words were said that led Zachariel to march over to the Groaning Stone and called Keith a dick to his face. The party left Mortrath shortly after. The day was cloudy and the night was dark, in which the party, Katie and her colleagues were harassed within by a pair of gnolls with some hyenas. However, when they ventured close, our heroes were quick to make themselves known as formidable and chase them off. The next day, they finally made it to the dig site, and were met with the smell of the bog. Stinky fish consumed, the travelers made camp for the night. So, I understand that I made Zachariel take a perception check, and that will stand. However, let me move some stuff from the stream. So,
Cinna has joined us.
Hi,
Cinna.
I have seen.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
No worries, you good?
Yeah, it's just one thing after another.
No problem. So,
We're happy you're here.
Yes. To start the session, what I would like each of you to do is to describe for me how your character sort of beds down for the evening. Choice details that you want to make known, and also what their thoughts are. What's going through their head, what are they sort of thinking about it, what's on their minds. And why don't we start with, in Discord order, Delia.
Well, I imagine Delia's probably just laid with her head on her backpack, just in the middle of the tiny hut, obviously. But she's pretty conflicted at the moment after seeing Elena's reaction to the bodies of the cultists, and has been meaning to talk with at least Hum, but the rest of the party as well, about the consequences and whether or not the cultists really do deserve to die for what they're doing.
Okay. What about Illyria?
Okay, I guess she goes down, just does her meditating, crisscross applesauce. And she's got a lot going through her mind, but she's feeling very empty and so many questions left unanswered for her.
What are these questions? This is introspective. No one, because she hasn't communicated this, or at least whatever she hasn't communicated to the party will remain unknown to them. But for the sake of the audience, what sort of stuff is going through Illyria's head?
Basically, just we put off her brother's funeral to go help this other living person. I feel like she's not got closure yet.
I will remind everyone that was a coin toss that was initiated by Illyria. Do you remember doing that?
Yes, but Illyria's too nice to say, "Hey, let's go my way."
Okay, so so let's dive into that a little bit. There was something stopping her from being assertive. About her needs. You can give me, like a sentence or a word of, why that is.
Well, I wanted to. She wanted to go. She was very conflicted with helping her new friends or family. She doesn't know at this time what to call them, but family was thrown around here. So she was conflicted with helping them or, burying someone who's just so close to her.
Okay. Let's move on to Tadias.
Being empty too.
Sorry. I thought you were done. Go for it, Tadias.
Tadias is kind of pensive. He probably is watching over the scientists as they're getting all their gear set up. Katie's probably very excited about being here, and he's just kind of sitting in the corner watching, thinking about specifically his vision he got when he first unlocked, his awesome art bloodline. How there's like a fate determined for this party, this group, and that he's going to be at the center of it. And really contemplating, his family, Katie, and everyone else's safety as he keeps walking this path. And it seems like these cults keep showing up anywhere he goes. Any direction, any place, there's an effect and there's a culmination and a growing of this war that's coming that he feels. So he's just reflecting on that and thinking about it.
Okay. Hum.
I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Let's go to Zachriel.
Before I get into it, what was the name of the last town?
Mortraeth. It's on the map.
Oh, okay. So Zachariel lays out his bedroll and walks over the fire and crouches down. And as he's looking into the flames, he sees, just kind of like daydreaming, he sees images of his wife and daughter dancing in the flames. And it's been a long path. I've been at this life for far too long.
A lot has happened in these couple of 10 days.
It's always, you always think you're doing good, and people will always respect you, but then you meet people like that barman. Makes you wonder if it's even worth helping them. What good am I really doing? Leaving my family behind? For them to fend for themselves without their father, their husband? I'm missing so much. I love being a way shield, but I think my time is coming to an end. Alright, that's it for him.
Kitties, are you ready?
I am ready. Sorry, my mouth was full.
Alright.
So Hummus is a little bit more shallow in her thoughts. She's really inspecting these chimes and is kind of excited to see what happens next with them. But, you know, she looks over at her mates hanging around her, and she's worried about Illyria and how it seems that a coin toss seemed such a weird way to decide about her brother's death, and wondering what's going on with her. She seems to be very quiet lately. And she sees the apprehension in Delia's face, and she's wondering what's got Delia wrapped up. And, you know, she just thinking about how she can get the party to come back together and get back on the road to kill all these cultists who have wronged so many people.
I will say that if you guys want to, engage in conversation in this evening, go for it. To describe the scene, you are sort of right at where the mountains meet the bog, and a point where the fields, the green, the plains meet the bog, meets the mountainside. You're only about 100 feet off from that exact point, and the mud is sort of only about 50 feet from where the cart with the horses has been sort of tied down, and a tent was brought up. This tent mostly for shade during the day, and a place to keep things while they're here. And the people with you, the archaeologists, they set up camp here. They've been doing it for a while. They look practiced. They set up everything with relative ease. They don't seem to ask for help. Edburn is just kind of looking around, hoping for some kind of action like he always is. But yeah, the night starts to drag on, and so there are... How many creatures can Tiny Hut contain? It was 8, right?
I thought it was 10.
I don't know.
What's the dimensions?
It specifies a number in the description.
Yeah. I don't know. My sheet.
9 creatures of medium size or smaller.
Okay. So there's 12 individuals on this trip. So obviously, or rather, I assume that you allow Katie and her colleagues to sleep in the hut.
Yes.
So during watch, who is outside of the hut, or during the night?
Zachriel for sure, and I assume Edburn.
Yeah. Okay. Hum's outside of the hut?
She is. She's enjoying the night air.
Okay. Well, remember, you can't smell anything because of those fish.
I said I was enjoying it, not smelling it.
Ah, the temperature. Got it. The fresh feeling in her hair. And
On her skin.
on her skin. Sure, okay. No one else can feel it for you. Alright, so, cool. So the night goes on, Zachriel, on your watch. That check, I think it was a 9. Yeah, so, all that happens, and, Hum, when is your watch? Out of curiosity.
Second watch.
So you're up with Zachriel too, then, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Zachriel, you see something draws your attention to the mountainside. You look up and you can't really make out anything. The night drags on, and those on watch 3, which are, remind me.
Me. Valeria.
Illyria and anyone else? It's just Lyria.
I can get the third, fourth one.
Okay. So, Illyria wakes up, relieves you guys. If you want to have a little exchange, feel free.
You doing okay, Illyria?
Just great. I just continue to watch.
Valeria, I should let you know, I thought I seen something. It could have been anything. Probably just a bird or something, but just open
Which
them.
way?
Point to the west.
Okay, thanks. I'll keep an eye out.
Well, I'll be right here. Just kick me or something.
Will do. Go and enjoy your sleeps, guys.
Should we ring the chimes?
Don't you ring those chimes anywhere near me.
Hum goes to her bedroll, kind of pouting. Puts the chimes under her pillow. Or under her backpack that she's using as a pillow.
Okay. Hum, when you sleep, you dream. You sort of come to your senses, and you see before you twiddles and fiddles burning. You hear sobbing next to you, and you look to your side, and you see Gizo on his knees, crying his eyes out. And the smell of smoke starts to fill your lungs. I'm going to say you wake up in a second, but meanwhile, Illyria, you start to get a whiff of something, but it's hard to make out what it is because of the stinky fish you had to eat in order to block out the smell of the bog. Roll a perception check. So, you know that there's sort of a strange smell in addition to the nasty bog.
Do I know where it's coming from?
So, with that, it's hard to tell.
Can I look over at Valora and see which way that she probably smells?
Go ahead and roll a check for her. Alright. Valora is looking right at Hum, and Hum, you wake up.
Alara, I need to go back to Forest Ride now.
And right as you say that, you feel something sort of, like you smell like this smell too, and you realize that it's the smell of smoke. And,
okay, I look around to see if I see any fire.
You don't see any fire. Hum and Illyria, you see Ashwick right before you. And he is reaching underneath Hum's head. What do you do?
I call out, "Watch out, Hum!"
I snatch up the chimes.
Roll initiative.
roll-
I'm going to add your names to the turn tracker.
I also scream out Zachriel's name.
You can edit the thing, so go ahead and put your number there when it's there.
I'm not Zach. Oh, there I
It's not letting me.
It's not? Okay, then I'll do
Me
it.
either.
Mm-hmm.
Wait on it.
So this is going to be real quick though.
Can I imagine my yelling would wake everyone?
It does,
Oh, okay.
according to the rules in Xanathar's. Okay. You're okay. Okay, so I don't really need to record everyone's initiative. This is good enough. So you are actually faster than him. You act faster than Ashwick. He looks like he's reaching for like he's trying to rifle through your stuff, and then kind of like makes his way to where your head was resting on that pillow. What do you do?
I ring the chimes at him.
You ring the chimes?
I ring the chimes right
Roll a
at him.
d20. When you pick up the chimes and ooh. Okay, we're gonna count that 6. When you ring the chimes and you're in the presence of Ashwick, suddenly all of that talk that Zachriel had spoke of with the shovel having feelings makes sense, because you feel this instant feeling of anger, more than your own anger. There's another sort of primal anger that you feel sort of coming from the chimes. So you rolled them. Okay. Let me check the effect. Okay. Well, this isn't that useful to you, but you look around, and your allies are all around you, along with people that you're friendly with, and they all feel refreshed, a little bit more chipper than they were before. So let me add that to the thing. But he says, he like kind of reaches and he says, "I need the chimes."
Fuck you.
And at this moment, everyone is sort of awake. Just give me like a quick synopsis of what you plan to do. So he looks around, and everyone is sort of like starting to shamble up. And we'll just go around. So Illyria, what is your move here? What are you gonna do?
My first reaction would be to shoot at him.
Okay. Zach, what about you?
I would point Suni at him and cast Earthgrass.
Okay. What about you, Tadias?
Checking daggers.
Okay. What about Delia?
She'll probably do some magic missiles.
Okay. So, let's because okay, Illyria, go ahead and make your shots. This is sort of quasi initiative. Okay, so that unfortunately misses. That hits, and as soon as he gets struck with an arrow, suddenly, like in this dark, he starts to fade slightly, and it gets hard to discern detail with your dark vision, and the small light from the fire. It looks like it did before. So, Zachariel, go ahead and make your move.
Well, if I can't see him, I can't use Earth and Grass on him. So.
Where are you? Like, just give me like a decent idea of where you would be in this situation.
I was just lying down next to the campfire, so probably close. I told Illyria to kick me, if anything.
Right. So, you can see him. It's that effect that is causing disadvantage on attack rolls. That weird haze surrounding him.
Okay, well, let me check that spell. I don't have it on my...
I believe it's a strength save.
No, it's not on Roll20.
As an action, hand, medium hand, yours rises, reaches for a creature, strength save. Okay. What was the...
DC 15.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay. Natural 20. So I'm going to flavor that as you see the hand grab in, and he just turns to smoke and just kind of fades around it and then reappears with that same kind of weird, hazy nonsense. Okay. Hum, it's your turn.
So because Hum doesn't want to let go of the chimes, she's going to use her counter charm, knowing that this guy has powers to charm everyone.
Okay. It's not charming. The effect isn't being charmed. It's like gagging from smoke.
Boy's frightened us before.
He has. Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And it also gives them advantage on saving throws.
Gotcha. Okay. So, he looks around, sees that he's outmatched, and he got his ass handed to him before. And he sort of blends into the dark, and you kind of feel the smoke kind of like rise up. Like it's sort of like rubbing against her, kind of. You feel smoke kind of like billowing around you. It's rising up, and just a moment later, it's gone.
Hum jumps up and runs to Zachariel and says, "We need to go back to Force Strike now."
Oh, calm down.
No, I saw Twiddles and Fiddles burning. We have to go back to Forest Ride now.
You sure it's not just something that creature was doing?
All I know is we need to go back to Forest Ride.
How many miles are we away from Forest Ride?
You can take a measurement tool onto the map, but
Should be more than a day.
it's quite much more than a day. It's definitely more than a day.
Like from flying from where we are to Forest.
How do we fly?
Well, you don't really have a means of flying.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got something.
Interesting.
What do you have?
I can, summon a bird or whatever and get it to send a message to Forest Ride.
Oh, animal messenger.
Yeah.
Cool. That spell's kind of specific on how far that can go. So, but we'll deal with
50 if the messenger flies.
that. Little short.
So you can walk 7 miles that way and drop it off.
Well, the messenger. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let me resolve this real quick because I think there's something else to it. If the messenger doesn't reach its destination before the spell ends, the message is lost, and the beast makes its way back to where you cast the spell. But I will say that I'll let you cast the spell, and then we can roll to see if it makes it that extra 8 miles. Because I feel like that would be fair,
It doesn't hurt to try.
Okay, so keep playing the scene, though. So, does Illyria walks over to get back into that scene?
Yeah.
I don't know much about magic or those who cast it, but I think it's safe to assume that this person or creature that we've fought now 2 times has the ability to cloud one's mind.
He's just my only family. He's all I got in this world. We have to go back.
Let me try sending a bird. See if we can get a message to him and back.
Illyria, he's my family. We have to go.
By this time, I probably calmed all the researchers in the hut, so I'm gonna walk out. And
I mean, yeah, they're kind of watching with wide eyes.
Yeah.
Katie, is whispering to Dias, what happened? That was so fast.
The smoke cloud person. We fought him before he got away.
Oh my.
He might be trailing us. I'm going to talk with him and figure out.
Okay.
So I kind of walk through the hut and say, "What was that? Where did he come from?"
Early in the night, I saw something on the mountainside. Perhaps that was him, but Hum is saying that she saw Twiddles and Fiddles burning. You're adept in magic. Is someone of this person's power? Are they able to cloud one's judgment? Perhaps put false illusions in your mind? Or...
I kind of, look down at Hum a little bit, and can I make an insight check and see if she was perhaps adjusted or if she's just doing something mentally?
You can.
Tadias, we have to go back to Forest Ride.
It's a little bit of a hard read.
You've helped me when I needed it. If this is what you want, I'll go with you now.
We have to go. If Twiddles and Fiddles is on fire, then it could spread across the whole area, and your family could be in danger too.
Full Stride is protected by the Wayshield's headquarters and the militia.
Zachariel, if this was your family, you wouldn't be questioning.
No, but we're on the job right now, and I wouldn't want to leave these people behind to use as leverage by some insane evil wizard.
I'm going.
Zachariel, what did he come here for? Was he trying to
Looked
attack
like
us?
looked like he was reaching underneath Hum's.
The Chimes don't like him. They don't like him at all.
Wait, what?
Excuse me?
The Chimes got really angry when he was around.
I kind of give like that sideways glance to Zachariel.
I also give the sideways glance to...
My guess is that he's going for the Chimes. If we took them right now, these people will be safe. What?
You did notice that with all of you there bearing down on him, he definitely seemed like he knew that he was outmatched, and it seemed like this was an act of this was a supposed to be a clandestine act.
We can leave a familiar with Katie. We can begin moving, and then if something happens, we can be here. Or we can warn someone. I mean, they do have a way shield with them.
Hum is just packing her stuff up.
So, are you guys going to leave in the middle of the night?
Don't you think it's wise that we at least finish a rest?
My family is in danger. What would you do if it was
So you're
your
going
family?
to run 3 days straight back to full?
What happens if Ashwick comes for these people? And I motion towards the archaeologists.
I don't care what you guys do. I'm gone.
There's another character that did this before, and it didn't end well for them. That's out of character. I forget I said that. So, what? Tell me what you're doing.
Who's ready to travel with Hum now? I'm not letting her go alone.
We have to go. We have to go. I will wait till morning, but we have to go.
I'm sorry, guys, but I'm with Hum. I need to get back to Spore Stride. I go pack my things too.
Hum's got huge tears just rolling down her face.
Does Delia have anything to say, since if she leaves the tiny hut, it goes poof?
Well, she has no idea what to do because she doesn't want to leave the archaeologist.
Sounds like the Ashwick is more wanting what Hum has more than the archaeologist.
But he
That's
could
true.
potentially use them as bait. Hostage them. He saw that we were traveling with them. If we split up now, he could circle back.
So Katie kind of walks over, and she's sort of overhearing like this tension that everyone is expressing, and she says, she has like this kind of like really worried look on her face, and she says, "You know, I knew that you would leave in the morning. That was sort of the agreement, but you say that this person with these strange powers came after you, and just the other night we were harassed by those hyena creatures. I mean, you said that there were at least 6 of them. And we encountered the Chol, and there was that problem at the 2 inns." She kind of looks up at the mountain and then looks down in the plains, and she says, I don't think it'd be wise to leave us here.
Are we in or out of the hut right now?
Well, Delia can't leave the hut.
We're probably
You're
right
probably
outside it, so Delia doesn't cancel the spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Delia's as close as she can get to the edge.
So everyone is, in range to communicate. She says, I think tomorrow we should pack up and head back to Forstride, because it's more dangerous out here than it has been in as long as I've known it. She gets like this very guilty look in her face. She says, I shouldn't. I mean, I didn't know, but I wasted your time. I'm sorry. She looks to Delia, or she looks to Illyria when she says that. If you feel, I understand. I don't quite understand why you have to leave now in the middle of the night, but if you could find a way to wait until morning, we'll go with you, and we'll just head back to Forstride. As a quiet descends over the party.
Hum is just sobbing.
We did not anticipate it to be so dangerous. You're wise in your decision-making, and I hope you can return very shortly.
I mean, we have enough rations to skip Mortrath altogether. We just travel north, and it'll be a little rough, but we can get to Roland in a couple days. But I know that I can't. We can't really get the horses moving at a good clip if we made them move now, and it wouldn't be wise to get moving until there's a little bit of daylight.
Well, I think this is a good course of action.
You should all go rest. I'm gonna kind of like walk over to Hum and sit down next to her. I know how you feel. I was worried when the crushing wave released all the water elementals. I heard the bar was destroyed or damaged, or my family could have been hurt. I understand.
I love you, Tadias, but you don't understand. I lost my family once, and it took me a long time to find a new one. And I can't lose Gizo. I just can't.
And we will do everything we can to prevent that. But trust me, as someone who's walked and walked and walked fighting, letting my emotions control me, you're no good to anyone when that walk is over.
Hum just buries her head into Dias's shoulder and sobs.
It's all right. Do whatever it takes. Do whatever.
So close out the scene for me.
Hum just kind of leans into Dias and cries herself to sleep.
I'm just gonna ask everyone who's staying, who's going.
I believe we're all going, Illyria, in the morning.
Yes.
It's not wise to travel at night, and if this foe is trying to retrieve something from here or use something against us, he will surely take advantage of a exhaustion state. If we
Should we double up on watches for the rest of the night?
couldn't hurt.
Edburn says, well, I'll take the rest of this one and I'll put in another hour. He says, I'm used to long nights. So,
I'm awake for the night too.
double up. So the rest of the night passes without incident. The morning is clear, and the day prior, when everyone was setting up camp, the archaeologists had actually already set up the tools they would use to retrieve stuff from the bog, and a little bit before dawn, where the sky is kind of gray, or where the light is kind of gray, and the sky is kind of just starting to turn blue from a dark, and there's one of the archaeologists sort of with this long lashed pole with a net at the end, and he is sort of leaning on the side of the not leaning, he's on an elbow, and he's kind of like got the long pole out into the mud, and he's just kind of like churning it, hoping to find something. When Katie wakes up, and I'm assuming most of you wake up, since it's a little bit difficult to get back to sleep, she says, all right, we're packing up. You need to put that away and get the lashes undone, please. And he says, wait, I got something. Does anyone react to that?
Delia kind of perks up and looks over at him.
He says, I saw something sparkle. And he kind of starts pulling it back. And it pulls back, and you know how there are some substances that are hydrophobic, and when they get wet with water, it just kind of runs right off?
Like ducks?
Like ducks.
Like ducks.
So he pulls this long pole, the net, off into the shore of the bog, and your eyes are drawn to it, Delia. He goes, woo! And you see sort of kind of floating on the top of the mud. You see clearly these bright, shining gems. 6 of them.
Can Delia reach them safely?
Yeah, it's on the shore. he kind of like the archaeologist gentleman looks up to you, and Katie kind of like looks at you, and then she looks at the party, and then she looks at Delia, and she says, "You know, they're just." She kind of like reaches down, she picks one up, she kind of inspects it. She says, "I feel like this is somebody else's lost object. I don't see any historical value over it. The cut doesn't look familiar to any cultures. Tell you what, this is part of compensation for your trouble." And Delia, these are 3 gems that look to be worth 50 gold, 2 gems look to be worth 100 gold, and 1 gem that looks to be worth 200 gold. I will put these in your party fund.
Oh my.
What does Delia think when she sort of appraises these?
She's pretty excited. Because now she'll be able to, with the party's permission, maybe infuse some spells into them.
Okay, they're in the party fund.
I'm gonna hope the archaeologists get their stuff ready.
Okay, so everyone's breaking camp. The tent kind of flops down. The day starts to get brighter, and as you begin to help, you kind of see. You look up, and after like about an hour into the dawn, some clouds sort of make their way from the north and kind of give an overcast, and you hear a loud scraw and a really loud wing beat, and whoever is sort of with Katie as she's like starting to break stuff up, she says, "Oh, a rock. It's can't see it right now, unfortunately, but it's just a large bird that makes its nest up in the Skypierce Peaks." As she just continues working.
Interesting.
That's impressive.
Once I finish up with my gear, I'm going to send you Darnik to kind of just check out the path, see if we sees any smoky dude.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're having him go north along the bog, or where exactly?
I mean, he's going to check out just our surrounding area first, but
Okay.
then I assume northward, which way we were going.
Okay. And he looks around, and he doesn't seem to see any smoky things. However, as he's sort of making his way back, gets to within the 100-foot range, he communicates something to you. That's like, look up. And just as he does that, you hear one of the colleagues shout out, "Up there!" And you look up, and sort of looking up, you can see coming through the clouds dark humanoid figures seemingly gliding downward. They seem to have these wings that stretch along the arms, waist, and legs. They start to zigzag along the mountainside down toward the camp. You see about 15 of them. What do you do?
Do they look anything like the riders from the north?
Roll a perception check.
Okay. With you, Darnik, or with me?
Both, if you want.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay. So, what was the question? You wanted to know if they look like what?
The riders, the vulture riders from the north.
Feathergale.
Ah.
Feathergale.
Something about their, something about their regalia looks very familiar to the Knights of Feathergale, but something is very off in their demeanor. they look much slimmer.
Zachrael, Valeria, we have to go now. We've got company.
They look to be about 200 feet up in the air as they start to descend. And they're
tucks the chimes in her chest plate.
I rattle off
Or in her arm.
information about what Edarkin sees, and then I just poof them back into the pocket.
okay.
Delia's gonna cast some mage armor on herself real quick.
Delia, they're pretty close together. If you get on my back, we might be able to tow some of them before they get to us.
You
Okay,
got it.
Etburn draws his greatsword and walks up to where the mountain starts, ready to receive them. What was your plan, Delia?
I'm gonna hop on Tadias's back.
And
We're gonna fireball him.
Some wings are coming out.
okay, then in that case, let me get you to the page, and we're gonna roll initiative. Seems like clear these turns.
I'm going to call out to Burn to fall back. So there's a bit of space between the base of the mountain and where the caravan is, so me and him can kind of block.
Got it. All right, let me get to the page. Where'd it go? Where'd the page go? E.
How far up did you say they were?
Right now they're about 200 feet. So I'm going to move them in an array that makes sense to what they're doing, because they're just kind of sprawled out here. And they're not on the ground there. They are actually 200 feet in the air. So place your tokens where you think they would be. Ashwick's not here.
Oh, where was the cave entrance, or are we saying this tent was like where we were in the cave?
There's no cave. There's no cave.
Oh, I thought we were.
No.
Alright. Dan.
So just place yourselves where you think your character would be. These guys are probably over here. This guy's like, oh shit, I need to run. And he is about to start running. Okay. So, Headburn follows your advice, falls back. Okay, so they start to descend, and during that time where you set up, they get a little bit lower, and when we roll initiative, they'll be at 100 feet. So, go ahead and roll initiative.
Does it look like they're flying or just gliding?
They're descending. You know that they're descending. They're descending slowly, but they're descending. Well.
I'm also going to roll for the wand of magic missile.
Ah, yes. And Edburn has more hit points than that. Alright, here's his roll. Ouch. Okay. So, round one. They are descending. They're at about 100 feet. And let's see. So let's see. Oops. This one descends about another 50 feet, kind of just like gliding in circles, letting himself fall, bringing his arms up to catch wind, and when he gets to a little bit lower, when he gets to about 30 feet off of the ground, you see him sort of bring up this strange device, and he shoots this dart toward Edburn. And Edburn, it hits Edburn with an 18 to hit, and it deals a good amount of damage. You watch as this sort of lightning-infused dart through the air and slams into his shoulder, and he cries out, "Ah!" And then I have to math. No, I don't. I have addition. Okay. Next one is going to do the same thing. He's going to get a little lower, and Edburn is just sort of staggered back. He also lets loose this dart that just shoots toward him in this line. Oh, and he crits. So that much piercing, and then this much lightning, and then this much lightning.
It's not good to be Edburn right now.
No, Edburn's not having a good day. You see lightning crackling around his form, and he's just kind of like jittering. One more shoots at him, descends down in these zigzag patterns, catching wind, making their way down, shooting this dart. Fortunately misses as it just lands in the grass right next to his foot, and he just kind of one of the other dudes looks like they're not wearing like they're wearing this weird well, actually I have a handout. I should just show you the handout. So they're not wearing those weird balloon things. They have the wing stuff that I described earlier, but that's what they look like. Okay. So he just kind of moves down a bit, but he doesn't seem to have anything to shoot with. Wow, they all rolled really high. This one is going to shoot their dart at Edburn. Ooh, that's another crit, and Edburn goes down. You watch as he just falls to the ground with lightning zapping around him. That one is descending more. Hum. So right now,
how far up are they?
Yeah. So we're gonna do this. Dang it. Everyone that went before you, so this one and this one and this one and this one and this one are 30 feet off of the ground. The rest of them are 100 feet up in terms of initiative.
30 or 3?
30. 3-0. They're up off of the ground.
So, Hama's gonna run up next to Zachariel. Behind this rock here. Or beside this rock here. And she's going to shoot 2 charges towards... Was it this one that's lower in the sky?
That one is one of the ones that are 30 feet, yes.
Yeah, she's going to shoot 2 charges towards him.
Okay. 3 times 4. Okay, so you fill him up with arcane force as the wand toward him, and he right into the ground. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Alright. That guy just lowers a bit. Tadias.
Alright, so Delia's on my back, so I'm going to use full action to wing out.
Alright.
Big spectral white wings glow, eyes glowing white. And I'm going to dash and get 60 feet, so think to get the angle on these people, I'm gonna do 60 up and then 30 over. 30 up, 30 over.
Okay.
Ring. Or is it not? Is it not normal squares?
I have it at Euclidean, so that we can do this without having to count squares. So if you were to go 30 feet, you could get to there.
Okay. Wow.
And then you're 30 feet up. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Just lining her up for the shatter.
Okay. Illyria.
Okay, I'm gonna move out here, close to him and Zachariel. And I think like they're 200 feet. No, how'd you? Sorry, how far up?
You can
are the other ones?
You can definitely hit any of them. They're definitely not beyond 600 feet away from you. Trigonometry withstanding.
Okay, and they're with wings?
No, they have... Well, they look like gliders. They look like glide suits. So they're just descending down, gliding along the air. They sort of popped out through the clouds.
Okay, I'm just gonna shoot at the one at the end.
Yeah. That's a hit. Alright, the arrow just pierces right through him, and you hear like a crack as it hits the side of the cliff, and he just falls down.
I'm gonna try my luck with the second one next to him.
Okay, so I think that one's actually so like you hit that guy and then you look up at another one who's like sort of descending down following him. So he was, in terms of initiative, he was still 100 feet up, but you can still hit him. I'm just flavoring. So you angle your shot. Go ahead and roll the damage. That's a hit. And another kill as you nab him right through the guts, and he kind of loses control and just falls down. That was going to be his turn. Those guys' turns, but they don't get to go now. Oh, I messed up. They're both super high up, so you just went... Alright, cool. Zachary.
And that's all.
It's Zachariel's turn.
Alright, I am going to run up here in front of that burn, raise my shield, kind of crouch down to a knee, and take the dodge out.
Okie dokie. Etburn. Who wants to roll Etburn's death save?
Way shields.
He stands up
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
with 1 hit point. Oh, Jesus, he says.
Not today.
Man, what are those things I have? Ugh.
Invest in a shield.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. He looks up, and then he sees, like, the ones that are closer to the ground, and then he looks on Zachariel's back, and he says, "Can I have a javelin?"
Take it.
He pulls it out from where you're stowing it on your back, and he flings it up at, this guy. I don't remember what modifier, but I'm gonna say it's 6. And, oh wait, he's a disadvantage roll. He hits! So that's gonna be 3d6 plus 3. Alright, so he nabs one of them in the shoulder, and they start to lose control, and they're not dead, but they're very close to it, as they kind of like wobble around. Delia.
Alright, Delia's gonna hold on tight and then send a fireball over there.
Alright, so this is... Actually, no, they're all... Okay, they're all at the same level. Okay, so one of them is going to be out of your range, because how I'm imagining it is that they're all like in a serpentine kind of pattern. But
Okay.
everyone except for this guy is in your range. So let me roll their saves. Alright, so these guys get torched heavily. They're not dead, however. And then the low-level mooks managed to roll their saves. There's 2 of them left. Oh, they don't need to roll. So these 2 guys in front here. Oh, there's this guy here. Okay, he's not in the range either. But these 2 guys here, they just light up, and they just fall down, leaving ash behind as they... Anything else, Delia?
No, that's it.
Alright.
So these are the 2 that got injured?
Yeah, they got heavily injured.
Yeah.
Alright, this one makes his way down and touches down and looks at Zachariel angrily. And he is going to hurl another one of those weird darts at him. 15.
That's a miss.
So it careens toward him and then...
I just smack it out of the air with the shield.
And just kind of like all of the electricity kind of like falls into the shield, kind of, but it's dispersed. And the thing just falls onto the ground and it looks like it's just a regular dart. This guy hits the ground and he is going to, he's going to run up to Zachariel. And this guy looks definitely fucked up from Delia's fireball. He is burning and torched, but he has anger in his eyes. And as he runs up and with a final sort of act, he claps his fingers together, and I need Zachariel to roll a con save. All right. So that does not succeed. You only take 5 thunder damage, but you are thrown back 15 feet and prone. Wait. 10 feet or 15? 10 feet. You are thrown back 10 feet and prone. And Edburn just tumbles over, and he falls over unconscious again. That guy's dead. That guy hits the ground. And he has... enough. He does not actually have enough movement. He gets up to here, and he sort of makes a couple of gestures. His whole body is just on fire at this point, and a strong, steady stream of air starts to blow toward Zachariel, Edburn, and Hum. And I need to actually get it. Be great if it... There we go. So he's gonna do it like that. Alright. Hum, here's your turn. You need to make a strength save.
Strength save?
Yep.
This is going to be bad.
Alright, you don't have disadvantage?
Yeah, how did that happen?
So you save. As, tell me how Hum saves against this super strong wind current.
She kind of backs into the rock a little bit.
Yeah, to avoid the brunt of it.
You know, getting... Right.
So the air sort of flows around and threatens to push her over, but she's quick to lean forward and brace herself against the rock. Excellent.
Absolutely. And then...
Oh, sorry, it's your turn. Go on.
It's my turn.
Yep.
And then I'm going to move towards the side here and head to these rocks over here. That, let me... And I'm going to take a shot at this one with my cross.
Okie doke. Alright. Describe killing. He's this charred individual.
So I hit him like on the side of his head, and the arrow kind of just like lodges into his temple, and he just kind of falls over.
He falls over and his clothes are just kind of burning around him still. Excellent. And that means that the wind goes away, because he's dead. This one touches on the ground and gets up to here. And he is going to... take... You see him kind of like assess the battlefield, and he starts to take a defensive stance. That's his turn. Tadias. As you fly in the air, you see this one of the colleagues just zoom. Oh shit! Getting out of the way.
30 will fly up 30 feet above rail, wheelie on my back.
All right.
And that means that I should be in non-disadvantage from this one, disadvantage of this one, I believe.
For what?
The hand axes and daggers.
Yes.
I think I'm at disadvantage from this one.
Yes.
So this one, I'll just throw a quick Resurrect at him.
Okay.
Wow.
Describe killing.
I'm just gonna aim right for his chest. So just a quick little. I realize that we haven't done this for a while, but Resurrect actually doesn't make noises when it stabs stuff, so it's completely silent. He just has that thing in his chest now.
And it just blows back to his belt. It starts to blow back to your belt.
Yeah, and then I'll toss the hand axe at this guy with disadvantage.
All right.
Advantage. Wow.
All right. That's a hit. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
Oh, and I'm angeled, so that's going to be another 6 damage.
Okay, so I need to roll a thing for him.
15?
He is going to... I wish this was a macro. Okay, so 15 you said?
Yeah, 15
So
damage.
You see he deflects it and it looks like the blade doesn't even cut in, but some of the divine energy kind of like sears his forearm.
Well, as he's looking at his forearm, I chuck another one right for his head.
That hits.
That's 12, and because it's the exploit, I get to add that to it. 15 again.
Alright. So 15 more damage. So he blocks and then the other one just grazes his shoulder, leaving a nasty gash. And Alright. Illyria.
I'm gonna take a whack at him now.
Okay. That is a miss, unfortunately. Also, he's taking a dodge action still, so the next one's at disadvantage. That is just enough to hit.
I'm gonna also use a poisoned arrow.
Okie dokie. Roll the damage. Alright, so he is not... That does not kill him. So, that's going to be a con save from him. Alright, so he is poisoned for his next turn. He's just... anything else?
That's all.
Zachriel.
Alright, I'm gonna run right past him. As I'm running by, I'll take a smack at him with the shovel.
Alright.
Oh, where's my thing?
That is disadvantage because you're still taking the dodge action.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
That's a hit. So, another bypassing decapitation, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to attempt to knock this guy prone.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Well, he's not that strong, so... Yeah, he rolled a 2.
Wow. Lucky.
That's a hit for sure. For
Oof.
7. Yeah, that is not enough to kill.
Alright, that's it for me.
Okay. Epburn needs to roll a death save.
Didn't he stabilize?
He got knocked down again by a thunder wave.
Oh.
That's one save. Okay. Delia, you're high up in the
I
air.
rolled good for him.
I'm gonna tell Tadias, do you think we should keep this one alive? To question him?
If you want the question, terrorists, sure.
I mean, I guess I'll just send some magic missiles at it.
Okay. He is dead. And we are out of initiative.
Gonna float on down, put Delia here, and then really quickly run up to Epburn and give him 6 hit points.
I'm gonna look around. I'm looking up at the mountain, back towards the.
Looking around, you don't see any other individuals or creatures coming for you.
Also, while I'm looking at the mountain, do I see any paths leading up?
From where you are, the mountains are nearly vertical. From here, there doesn't seem to be any real way to get up them.
Okay. Tadias, with the amount of force coming from that mountain, it would lead me to believe that perhaps there's another monastery up there.
You know where we're going.
Something to keep in mind.
I just go and collect my arrow.
Alright.
Look for anything else.
At the archaeologists are all just clamoring to pack up, get the horses in gear. Katie says, "We're ready to leave whenever you are."
Wait, has Katie ever seen me grow wings before?
I don't think she has, but she looks very like you look back, and she looks very flustered, and she has like this look of like, oh shit, we should probably get moving. So it isn't clear to you whether or not she actually did see you at this moment.
Alright, then I'm just going to dispel them real fast before she even catches wind of it. Make sure Epburn's alright.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
Epburn is hurting. So what do you do? Do you just heal?
I already healing hands.
Okay,
That's
cool.
the first thing I did out of combat.
Got it. Okay, so he stands up. Oh god damn it!
You drew the fire very well. You should be proud. I pat him on the shoulder.
So, Hum is just going to cure wounds too, just to give him a little bit more strength.
Thank you. That's not possible. You have your spell mod.
Yeah, it should be +5 probably.
At
I'm
least.
guessing what's your
Why is
charisma?
it doing that?
I don't know. But you definitely healed him for at least another 5, so... what is that? 6 plus 5? He's got 11 hit points right now. Cool. So what do you guys do?
I'm gonna really quickly check their bodies and see if there's any
That's what I was
signs. Oh, you were doing that, right?
Okay, I didn't hear you say that you were looting.
Oh. I said I was collecting my arrows and anything else on them.
Oh, on them. I didn't hear the on them part. I think you guys need to hold your push to talk buttons for a little bit longer, because it's cutting off, like, the very last word you say. Just something to keep in mind.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, so, what's on them? Are cows of similar make to those Feathergale Knights that you met before. And in addition, on a couple of them that you just outright killed before they could even act, you find between the lot of them, unfortunately you don't find any money, but you do find 4 of these. I'm assuming that Todias will take a moment to identify them later.
Well, she's got them. I don't have them.
Oh, I thought you were looking too.
Well, if she was doing that while I was taking care of Atburn, she probably did that by the time.
Okay, well, then Illyria...
But there are a lot of bodies here, so I imagine we should half and half or something.
It's whatever you want. I mean,
You can
two of them were done
also-
before they...
and you can also consult with each other, compare notes. Kind of jumped the gun with the handout, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I imagine I would probably ask Todias if he's seen these before.
No, I've never seen it before.
The designs on them look a little bit familiar.
Would an Arcana check help me with that?
That or history.
Wow.
At this point, you can't really remember why they look familiar. You might later, though.
Don't have any details. Maybe Delia might know. Can I hand it back to her?
Okay.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Can I do a history check on them?
You would not know.
Could I do an Arcana check?
Delia, you can make an Arcana check. Your DC is going to be a little different. Okay. So these are pretty common. These are they look familiar to you, but in a way where you know one or two things about runes and how they relate to elementals and how they relate to the elemental industrialists back at Forstride. And these kind of look similar to what you've seen sort of presented at Aldax Academy. Like, they're not exact copies from what you can remember, but they're very similar.
So there's... Explain that to me one more time, sorry.
So these are the designs that seem to give these things their power. They are similar in they're similar in design to runes that you've seen before in relation to elemental devices, such as those from Winds and Sails, since this is a wind-based wind-based power.
Okay, I got it. Well, these symbols are what would give them power and what make them work. I've seen them similar ones before, not these exact ones though.
So what do you guys do?
Maybe we should take one back to the academy or to Fourth Stride. Is that possible?
Take one, what, like one of the bodies?
No, the things that have runes on them.
Oh, the
Was
darts?
the bodies?
I think Illyria's taking off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if Delia wanted one, I would give Delia one.
Oh, thank you.
Goes back and starts helping them break up camp more.
At that point,
That's
at this point, let me bring up the stuff down from the stream. All right. So, you all kind of scrounged up that stuff and hopped on. Well, at least one of you hopped on the cart, I imagine, and began to start making your way north. I assume. Which way are you going?
I guess we're taking the most direct path.
Okay.
You know, without going through the bog.
Ah, so you're going to, you're not going to stop and roll it and cross the bridge over the river.
Well, I assume Hum wants to get there as soon as possible, so
Okay, alright.
maybe we like skirt close to roll it so that the car can.
That's a good discussion to have in character. So,
Hum has been quiet all morning, just letting things happen as they happen.
so the cart, you know, makes its way overland. It's a little bumpy. So Katie is talking to her associates, and she says to the driver, I think we're going to be heading north to Rollid, and then we'll make our way back to Forstride over the road. She looks to the party, kind of like for their endorsement in this plan.
That's probably a good idea. The last thing we want is a broken wheel or something.
Yeah, we're on.
The road is definitely the safer path, but I'll leave it up to you, Hum. Would you like to take the safer path or the more direct?
I have to take people's safety into account. There's no use in hurting more people because we need to get back.
Katie gets kind of a sympathetic look on her face, and she says to the person driving the cart, "All right, let's head north."
I smile at Hum.
So the day is unsurprisingly tense after that encounter this morning, after the encounter in the evening, the previous evening. However, as you make your way up north with the bog on your left, plains on your right, the sky clears up near the mid-afternoon, and you, after about 8 hours of travel with 1 hour break in between, the horses start to protest as the sun starts to sink lower in the sky, and noting this, Katie announces, "All right, we're going to break camp here, or we're going to make camp here for the night." So everyone starts to set up, tend the horses, getting everything in order, setting up a meal, unless Zachariel gets into that.
I mean, I will cook.
Do you need help, Zachariel?
I would love help.
What's the scenery around us? Just open field?
Scenery around you is, like I said, to your left is the mud of the bog. To your right is plains. Open plains with grassy areas, some patches of earth, and a few copses of trees here and there. So you make camp, and Zachariel... Oh, go on.
Asked Zachariel, what would you like me to do?
Why don't you chop up some of these vegetables that we have and some of these spices, and I'll get to work to roasting the hyena.
Hyena.
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking. I wonder what those rocks taste like. I imagine they're just big chickens.
Yeah, it probably were. We probably left good meat back there, didn't we?
Yeah, an adventure for another day.
Yeah. Just goes about chopping, julienning vegetables. And...
Alright, so, Zachariel, you are attempting to make something that is very gamey taste good. So this will be a high DC.
Do it. Do it.
All right, what am I rolling?
Your cooking check
Mm-hmm.
probably
Under
gonna be wisdom. I think they're the same mod anyway for you. All right.
I shouldn't have advantage, but
All
still
left.
23.
Yeah. So it is phenomenal. Something you do makes the meat tender and very appetizing, and everyone has a good meal.
I think I may know my new course of life after I'm done gallivanting across the region, killing
When you're
no.
done way shielding.
Yes. Maybe I'll open my own restaurant. Or get a job somewhere.
I'm sure Floriana would enjoy that, having you home every night.
Well, I don't think so, because she's probably not home very often now that she's away shield.
Well, Sihara will like it.
Yes.
So you all bed down for the evening, and if there are no more exchanges you want to have, you proceed into the evening.
I'll put up the tiny hut.
Okay.
I'm gonna be outside this time.
What was that?
I'm gonna be outside the hut this time.
Okay.
Hama's gonna go inside the hut just because she has the chimes and she doesn't want to have them where they can be felt.
Kind of what I was thinking as well.
Right. So the night goes on. You take your watches, and in the middle of the night, about 2 hours after, so maybe the third after the third fourth of the night, when Illyria is out of her trance. Everyone outside of the tiny hut gets this whiff of that same smoky smell. Here at this part of the bog, you don't need the stinky fish because the mud isn't roiling. So it smells like normal fresh air, except for one point where the air turns into that nasty smoky smell that you're starting to get uncomfortably familiar with. And it kind of wafts around, and does Illyria react to this?
Yes, I certainly do. I get my bow ready and kind of, like, I'm outside, so I kind of back into the tent, maybe kick Zachariel up. I'm like, he's back.
Oh, he's nothing if not persistent.
So you kind of like, it's sort of all around, and then you kind of,
I'll be right back.
it kind of directs you to the tiny hut, and Zachariel, with your sort of elemental dark vision, since the smoke is sort of black, you can kind of see it a little bit better than those of you with the gray normal dark vision. And you can see it kind of like wafting around the tiny hut, and it seems to try to like get in, but it kind of goes to the bottom, and then it tries to like get in that way, but there's a floor, so it doesn't work. So it just kind of like wafts off, and then it just
Can magic enter the tiny hut?
Nope.
Alright, I'm gonna try to creep up on the tiny hut.
Okay. Like, this is like an amorphous blob, just to set the scene a little bit better.
Yeah, but Zachariel has seen this blob turn into a person, or this person turn into a blob.
Right,
so
right.
He thinks it.
Okay, so
So I'm gonna try to get close, and I'm gonna use burning hands on it.
Alright, go ahead and roll the damage. So, you use burning hands, and it notices. But let me make sure of something. I should know it. I should know this because I wrote this. Yeah. So it notices, and it seems like you've completely just burned off some of the smoke. Turns around, and it sort of it kind of just hovers for a second, and then it starts to slink away. A lot slower this time. Like it just kind of just wafts around along the ground, and it starts to just move away. What do you do?
As it's moving away slower, how far away from me would you say?
At this point, about 20 feet. Before it just like through and out, but right now it's moving at a much slower clip.
Oh, there you. It's weakened, and I just chuck a javelin at it.
Okay.
Is that disadvantage, right?
Yes. Okay.
17.
Yeah, that is a hit. I need to bring up the calculator. Go ahead and roll damage. Alright, so, math. So, when you do that, it kind of like, it seems to be hurried a little bit, and it starts to float upward and upward. And it keeps going upward. Do you keep chucking at it?
I mean, it looks like it's fleeing again, right?
Yeah, you get the sense it's fleeing.
I will just, I'll walk over to my javelin, pick it up out of the ground, and just in Primordial say cow.
And it floats off into the darkness, leaving you
Sorry about that.
leaving you unmolested. It's alright, you missed nothing. Except for
I missed nothing but somebody not being molested.
yes,
No,
you
it's
missed
the worst.
you missed a smoke cloud being well, in Zachariel's words, cowardly and fleeing.
I'm gonna, before I go back to sleep or whatever, I'm just gonna go I'll go back to Alaria and say, well, it appears that it doesn't like fire. At least slows it down. Whatever it is.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so...
But if we have fire, it's going to attract everything else, too.
Never mind, keep going.
Well, it slowed it down at least. Something to inform the others about. Anyway, I would love to stay up with you, but I'm quite...
You go get some more sleep.
This night you dream again. Only this time, it is not harrowing and terrifying. It is a sweet dream. One that I haven't prepared. What kind of sweet dream would Hum have? What kind of dream could Hum have where she would wake up and she'd be like, huh, that was nice?
Oh, she's standing on stage at the, what is that stage? Why am it not coming up?
Stone giant stage.
The Stone Giant stage, and everybody in the audience is cheering for her, and she's rocking out.
Yeah, you have a dream like that. And but near the end of it, you feel like you look out in the crowd and there's like this face that you don't really like have any familiarity with this face, but it has kind of like a not bad kind of glare. And aside from that, everyone is cheering and just cheering you on and loving your music. And that sort of like weird feeling you get from that one individual, it sort of fades away and it just turns into like an amazing night, and from that amazing night, you wake up into a quiet, peaceful morning underneath Delia's tiny hut.
I'm hungry. What's for breakfast?
Travel.
As the horses get bridled and everyone packs up what they took out, and that is not the right music. Everyone packs up what they brought out, and you begin making your way north again. Another boring day of travel. You leave the barren bog behind you, and
yeah. Delia Tadias. The black smoke returned last night and was trying to get into the tiny hut, so they threw some fire at it and it slowed it down. So something to keep in mind.
Good to know the tiny hut is important.
Yes, I also learned that
it got into the tiny hut before.
No, it didn't. Hum was outside.
Oh, right. Okay.
I also learned that when I shoot fire from my hands, it also doesn't go inside your tiny hut. So it was it's
just kind of like over it.
You attempted this not knowing that.
Well, I mean, I just assumed that it was.
Katie kind of like looks at you as you say that, and she has like this oh my gosh kind of look on her face, and just kind of like looks down, shakes her head a little bit.
I don't know a whole lot about magic. I just know I can do it.
Luckily, no one was hurt.
Boy, no kidding. By the way, did I see you flying?
Yes, there's a story behind that. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm different.
I mean, most of us are different from each other here. She like looks to Zachriel, who towers up his at his height, and then looks at Hum.
My eyes start to glow, kind of like white color, and the wings kind of like shoot out my back. I mean, different.
She just kind of like gawks at this sight, her mouth agape, and she says, "You're a celestial."
Yes, I had no idea.
That's amazing. I want to interview your parents. I want to know what your lineage is.
I mean, you can attempt whatever you want. It's just when I was met, as you know, there's a thing with celestials and having a sort of person reach out to you. They didn't tell me anything other than some sort of prophecy that might involve me in danger. So I've taken it with a grain of salt, if you could say.
She doesn't seem to have a response to that. She just sort of nods and looks thoughtful.
The wings kind of back in. But regardless, it seems like the cloud is persistent. We should make sure that Hum is always protected.
Hum is always protected.
And once we know that Gizo is safe, I think we should find a way to trap the bitch.
That's a trap?
I think we should take care of Illyria's brother first.
It'll be easier once the archaeologists aren't not with us anymore. If we start heading west in the forest, we might be able to manage.
So the day draws out, and you find yourselves at Rollid. Entering the town, it seems bustling as it usually does. And where's that docks? Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
My Discord just went silent for like 3 minutes.
Oh, did you not hear any of that conversation?
Uh,
Oh, well.
anything's... No.
Katie confronted Tobias about being an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I heard
then.
I heard that.
Okay. So you're making your way into Rollade. It's peaceful here. It's everyone is going about their day as the day sort of winds down, since it's like late afternoon at this point. And she has her and her colleagues stay the night in the same place they're at before, and it's a very peaceful evening. So whatever exchanges you want to have happen.
Does Homundelia go to the separate one or stay with us?
We should probably be wherever I can put a tiny hut. Honestly.
In the middle of a inn room.
If it'll fit.
What happens if you put a tiny hut indoors? Does it just cut?
Nothing.
Does it
It's
just
just
cut
X.
through? Does it?
Yeah.
It just clips through the buildings or the walls or whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, yeah. So, that night, you are not. There's no smoke that enters the sea leaf. There's no trying to get into the tiny hut. There is peace this evening. Do you guys want to play out anything, or do you want me to move on?
I talked to Delia, and I tell her, these chimes, I can feel them.
The same way that Zachriel can feel the shovel.
I don't know if it's the same way. All I know is when that Ashwick dude showed up, they got mad. Like,
You got the same,
really
and I should have
mad.
mentioned this. You got a similar feeling, like a displeasure, an intense displeasure, but not the same rage that you felt when Ashwick showed up, when the cultists attacked you.
And when those cultists came in, it was like pissed off. I mean, not as angry, but like not happy at all.
Oh yeah, how many cultists did Hum kill in that encounter? One? Okay. Keep going.
Here we go again.
Well,
I know, right?
it sounds like something we should keep an eye on. Maybe talk to Zachriel about it too.
Can you look at him and see if there's anything about him that's special? Like your magic, can it see?
Well, I don't know the one spell that'll tell me everything about it, but I can take a look. Can I roll like an Arcana check?
Any lore surrounding this, you don't know. You wouldn't really be able
Right.
to.
Could I tell like what school of magic it would come from?
Do you have detect magic?
I do.
Okay,
I'm not prepared though.
that's okay. It's a ritual. You're a wizard,
11 minutes.
and it's inconsequential at this moment. So with oh my god, what's going on? With detect magic, you see multiple different schools on this. Evocation is one of them, as is transmutation.
Well, this is really interesting. There's multiple schools of magic that are coming out of these chimes.
Hallie. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel close to them. Like, they're supposed to be with.
It must be fate then. It worries me that it's like that angry at Ashwick. I wonder what causes the chimes to be that angry.
I don't know. It's weird. But it feels like it's angry at him. Does that sound strange?
A little, but we face stranger things.
Like it doesn't want him to touch them.
So I think I'll just mention this now instead of waiting. Hum gets a distinctly feminine sort of personality from the emotion that the chimes have sort of transmitted to her. Just because you're using male pronouns, so it's just like, I don't want you to get used to that, and then, you know.
Hey, girl power.
We should name them.
Yes, we should.
They already have name.
I don't know if I told it to her when I identified it.
Oh, okay.
Can I feel its names?
You're attuned to it, so you know everything that Tadias does. So you know that it's called Chan's Chimes, and then XYZ and everything.
It feels like it's a girl, and her name is Chan. Or it belongs to Chan.
I like that name. It's cute.
Yes, I think we should let it stick. We gotta try it. We gotta try her again.
We do.
I mean, you can
Maybe
right
not
now.
in it in right
We
now.
can't right now because we're in the hut.
I think I'm going to make an executive decision in relation to Suni's spade. Zachriel.
Yep.
That evening, you have a dream.
Uh-oh.
In this dream, loud rumbling and sharp hissing sounds ring in your ears. At a glance, you see a tumultuous landscape before you. The world seems to be upheaving, mountains rising and falling in an instant. Great gouts of fire dot the landscape, and the sky roils with lightning-soaked clouds. A dull roar drones on from behind you. You turn around to face it, and you see an impossibly large, vaguely humanoid creature made from rock and earth. Its joints and certain parts of its structure glow with dark green crystals. It seems to be charging at you. You throw your hands up and ready yourself to accept the challenge, only, as you look at your hands, they're also made from earth, akin to the creature you face. But unlike the other creature, your hands are smooth and dexterous as they are strong. The creature is upon you and lunges at you. You catch it in your grasp as it pushes you back at least 100 feet. You grip it tightly and lift it out and cry out in the Terran dialect of Primordial, "Your destruction ends here!" And you wake up in the morning.
I'm never eating hyena again.
Oh yeah, you did. No, this wasn't the evening after you ate hyena, but sure, we can go with that.
Delayed sickness.
Delayed sickness. And as you wake up, you look around, and your attention is drawn to the shovel. and you can feel a little bit more than just emotion from it. There's a slight, there's more of a connection there, a little bit of communication.
Am I in my own room?
You are wherever you bedded that night.
Okay, well, I don't know. I guess I just. Okay, well, I don't care. I just. Hello?
You hear back sort of like in the Terran, and it's the same sort of voice you heard in your dream. Hello?
Oh god, I'm going crazy. Oh god, not worms. No.
You vocalized you've gone crazy?
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you. I don't know why I'm saying that, but thank you.
You're welcome, mysterious voice.
I don't remember. And then it kind of goes quiet.
Tobias.
I'm in the other room, right?
You were wherever you want to be.
I'll say they have really thin walls at this end. What?
Something is speaking back to me.
The winds of the morning.
And
Perfect.
you kind of look around, and it's that, like, you know, pre-dawn kind of light.
I had a weird dream.
Who is on fire?
No, I was a rock monster fighting another rock monster.
Wait, two of them?
I was a rock man, fighting a rock one.
Did you win?
I woke up as we clashed. And then I heard a voice. Said hello and thank you.
At least it's polite.
You hear from a room, and Zachariel
Everyone hearing this?
Zachariel hears from a room adjacent to him. Did you have too much to drink or what? Go back to sleep.
It's morning, you deaf.
And you just hear grumbling. Then from
Zachariel, you saying things are talking to you?
Oh god, the walls are talking. I'm just gonna get up at this point.
you get out of the nice bed in the sea leaf, and
I don my armor and pick up my shovel.
okay. It doesn't seem to like say anything at this point. It just kind of seems like you just feel the presence a little bit stronger than you did before.
Okay.
Out of character. Jen is like 15 minutes away.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to bail in 15 minutes. Sorry, guys.
That's fine. I think with the pace we're at, I think in terms of story, I think it'd be better if we end with what I have next, since there's only about 30 minutes left in the session. So, Katie also awakens, and she gets up and gets with her colleagues downstairs. Everyone starts to eat breakfast. You guys, also get up, don your gear, get ready, packed up. You go downstairs, and there's a breakfast of eggs and bacon and these muffins that are made from like the most fluffy flour you've ever tasted. super good.
Yeah.
Delia, you look at, you kind of like get a look into the kitchen and you see that it's flour from your family.
Of course it is. My family only makes the best flour.
Hey, Delia.
Etburn, like goes up to Zachriel, but you guys can play out your scene first.
I lean over and I whisper in Delia's ear, hey, Delia, you want to go out and play with the chimes in a minute here?
Yes. Delia says that a little too loudly.
Everyone just kind of like gives you looks and says, well, I mean, we're not really on a time schedule, so you can take your time, Katie says. She just like puts another forkful of food in her mouth. Edburn walks up to Zachriel, and then we'll go back to you guys. And he says, what were you talking about?
I honestly don't know. Perhaps I should start from the beginning, so I don't sound like a crazed lunatic.
He pulls up a chair, he sits down, puts his food down, and he takes a big bite. Looks at you.
Do you want me to roleplay this out, or?
Just tell me what you tell him.
Alright, well, I'm going to tell him that started with it, finding the shovel, Tadias not wanting it, giving it to me, finding out that the shovel has some emotion that it transfers towards me. As I fight with it, it appears to get stronger, it develops its own abilities, and this morning when I woke up, it spoke to me. Or I heard a voice. I told him about the dream, and then I told him about the voice that said hello and thank you.
He just kind of stares with wide eyes, kind of looks at the shovel, then back to you. He just kind of...
Well, he held the shovel when we first met, so like...
Yeah, so he... I don't remember if I said he felt something or not. I don't think he did. Did he?
I don't know, I don't remember.
So he wasn't attuned, so we'll say no. So, and anyone who cares enough can look back in the archives. But he doesn't know how to respond clearly. He says, that's... Yeah, I wish I had a weapon as a friend. Looks at his greatsword at his side.
I think you should wish for a shield, young Nitpun.
Well, when I get the shield, it will be my best friend, I think.
I could teach you how to use it.
He says, I'd like that. We cut over to Delia and Hum in the streets. Do you guys go into just the middle of the street, or where do you go?
We go and find a field so that
That's
we're
easy
away
enough.
from people.
There's like that kind of open field between the buildings proper of Rollid and, you know, I'll just take you to the map.
Delia, I think you should put your shield up.
Okay. I'll cast shield on myself then. And made armor.
Oh wow, the map is not loading. But I'm referring to like this area. So yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Yes! Alright. So you ring the chimes, and instead of a nice dulcet tone, you hear a loud crack, and you're blown by this just rapid gust of air, and you fall prone.
That was amazing.
That was awesome!
Delia like picks herself up and dusts herself off.
Oh no, it was only Hum. Delia.
Only Hum?
Yeah, only Hum.
Are you
Guys,
okay?
I gotta go. I'm sorry. Like, Jen just pulled up.
Okay.
Have fun.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So, yeah, I gotta go. Bye.
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 I'm gonna add this there. Okay, so I do want to do a couple more things before I close out the session. So you guys, to kind of wrap things up, you guys get all packed up, and you get on the cart and you leave Rollid, and the map still hasn't loaded. Oh, it did. Okay, just didn't load for one of the things. So, gonna go back to the world map. So you guys start making your way across the Roll Forth Road, making your way back to Forstride. And it is another sort of uneventful day of travel. Does anyone have any exchanges they wish to have? You make your way over the river, the Nearthol Woods on your right side, the river on your left.
I let Squirt out of the bottle and into the river.
Oh, and he plays. He has a blast.
I never thought an elemental could be cute.
This is near
It kind of
the
grows on you.
last hour of travel because of the way the river's shaped. But yeah. You actually pass by, out of the corner of your eye, you can see sort of strewn in the bushes are some sort of you kind of it strikes your curiosity. You walk over to them. It's a bunch of goblin corpses strewn about in the growth. And Zachariel, looking at them, you can tell that they're like a day or two old. Animals have started to pick at them. You get the distinct impression that this is the work of way shields, most likely.
Nothing like a sight of dead goblins in the day. Don't share.
Edburn just has a frown. He says, "I'm missing all the action." Zachariel, can we spar?
I mean, I gotta teach you how to use that shield, but we're traveling right now. But
Well, when we break for camp.
sure.
What was Tobias doing?
Oh, I was making fun of it. Like, yes, you had 4 darts, too much action, master.
He looks at you and just... he just like... He slumps his shoulders and he says, keep getting my ass kicked. And yeah, you guys make it to the usual halfway point. And this is a pretty common... Like, this area of the Northall Woods is the site of many a camp, because this route is so well used. There's obvious signs of other camps, campfire rings that are left strewn about. Just a lot of evidence of people being here. He when everyone's breaking down, when camp is made and everyone's kind of relaxing, you might cook in a few minutes. Edburn says, all right, can I use yours? He points to your shield.
No.
Oh. He says, I'll be right back. He walks off into the woods. And you can see him. He's like in the trees, sort of, and he picks up a bush. He brings it back. He says, I'll use this.
Okay.
He says, I mean, you're not trying to actually kill me or anything. It should be fine.
Oh no, I would never think of it. No.
So it should be.
Past them, and I just put my shield on the ground.
Oh! Can I use that?
No, it's there for show. Go ahead. Walk down. Sit down and watch this. This should be good.
Thanks. He just picks it up real quick, dons it,
Lydia.
tosses the bush away.
I got the goal that he doesn't stay on this feet more than 10 seconds.
You're on.
All right. So he just kind of he has a switch, and he says, "All right, come at me."
So you're going to use your greatsword and the shield?
He has a stick. It's a switch
Oh, okay.
that he's holding like a longsword. So this is going to be contested attack rolls.
All right. So for the first round, I will do the contested attack roll. So.
Give me a description. He stands ready.
So I see him standing ready with the shield, but obviously he's not used to using a shield. So I just do a quick side attack and hit him on the arm that's holding the stick.
Ah! And he drops it.
You're too stiff. You need to be more fluid. Loosen up. Here, come at me.
He kind of jumps a little bit. He tries to loosen up his arms.
When he comes at me, I gotta tackle him with the shield. Try and knock him prone.
Alright. Ooh.
Oh boy.
He charges at you. So he...
I thought that was his athletic.
It's the same mod. He comes at you, and he's a lot faster than you expected, and it makes you proud for a second, because he does seem to have some prowess as he just knocks you on your ass.
I had a golden Delia.
Take it.
Alright, from down here, I'm going to do a quick swipe at his legs.
Alright.
So that'll be disadvantage.
We'll still do contested rolls.
Oof.
He jumps. And
You're pretty good.
he says, "I'm better than I thought. Shit, why am I using a..." Okay. He looks a lot more confident, and he just drops the switch and he offers his hand.
I take it.
He helps you up, and he says, "Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. Thanks, Zachariel."
Oh, yeah. Very impressive.
He just kind of like... He picks up the switch, and he just kind of like... Looks like he starts making movements on his own. He looks like he's like reviewing like how to properly strike with a one-handed weapon, and he does this for a while as Zachariel, you feel a sort of rumble in your stomach, and I assume you set to cook dinner.
Yes.
Using goblin meat? No.
Well, I still have some hyena left. So
Oh boy.
I can mix it with the goblin.
Oh. What are you doing? Asks Katie. As you're prepping everything, Mom's helping you.
Sorry, I forgot to... Goblins are delicious, by the way.
What? I'll give it a shot. And then she kind of like looks back, and like the camera sees like
There's a very worried look on Tadias' face.
there's a very worried look in Tadias' face, and she Tadias, she mouths the words like rations.
I nod.
Listen, when you're out in the field on a long mission and you run out of rations or you get attacked, you gotta make do with what you got. Right, Edwin?
Yes, sir. So go ahead and roll your cooking check.
Intelligence, I'm guessing?
I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're both the same mod, right?
Yeah, they're the same.
So roll that check. I kind of do want to give you a disadvantage because you're using goblin meat. But I didn't declare it. So, it surprisingly tastes alright.
Delia's not eating any of
There's a
that.
little bit of game to it, though. for sure.
They've been dead for over 24 hours.
It's aged to perfection.
It's like a
Dio
fine-
is not eating it.
A lot of the archaeologists don't partake.
more for me and Edwin.
He says, "Hell yeah!" and starts to eat. So the next day, the night passes without incident. Again, there's no incursion from Ashwick. He seems to have learned that, that tiny hut is gonna fuck him up every time. So this night, at least, he doesn't show. The next day, you make your way down the Roll Forth Road, west, back to Fourth Stride. You make your way, and you guys got up a little bit early. Katie was a little restless. She roused everyone early and got everyone going. And as you sort of make your way, the sun is getting low in the sky. The unmistakable stone spires that surround Fourth Stride in your vision. One of them sort of blocks the sunlight, and as you approach Fourth Stride, you see in the distance a black plume of smoke. And we will continue next week.
What a cliffhanger.
Too bad, yeah.
Yeah, too bad Kitty's wasn't here.
Too bad Kitty's wasn't here, but she'll know. So thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight, and Joy for watching this eventually. We'll see you next time.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you there, Joy.